Humanity connecting through stories, building up, inspiring and healing through our journey of life. This is Dawn on Sundays.
Welcome, great Port Harcourt people. It's your Groove and Style station. We are Garden City Radio, 89.9 FM. And that was Mulan's song. It's titled Reflections. And with that one, intentionally played, of course, I welcome you guys to Dawn on Sundays. Yes, so time check is 3 minutes gone past 10 o'clock this beautiful, and it's a really beautiful sunny Sunday morning. Yeah. Today's date is the 20th day in the month of January 2019. I'm still getting used to the fact that it is a new year. So, how's everyone doing this awesome day? How many of you have gone to church? How many of you are enjoying your Sunday? I know I am. It began on a rather nice, mellow note, and I'm hoping it will continue that way by the grace of God. So, who's coming back from church? Or who's just, relaxing? You have no intentions of going anywhere? Sunday is the only day you get to just, let your hair down and be a little bit chill or zen. I understand. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're welcome to the show, wherever you're listening in from. Akwa Ibom, Calabar, Bayelsa, any part of River State, and even further, you're welcome. Now, here's what we do. On days like this, we talk a lot. You and I, yes, it's between you and I. We talk sometimes about random stuff that comes into my head, or intentional stuff which you can relate to, stuff you may have gone through or currently going through or just came out of. It's a relatable stuff. Psychological, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all the owls out there. Yes, I have a way with words as well. But I hope it will be an interesting one today. You see, I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but, okay. We'll break this egg and see if we can make some nice omelette out of it. So today's program is going to be divided into two parts. First part is something that's already running on the Facebook page, Dawn on Sundays. It was a 4 or 5 minute clip. And that clip was born out of this 10-year challenge that I don't know if it's still continuing or recently ended. Now, here's what people have been doing. You bring an old picture of yourself, say a picture from 2008, and you put it beside a recent picture of yourself, say 2018 or 2019. And social media was awash with it. Instagram, Twitter even had it, Facebook, there were so many pictures of people. And one thing I saw in the pictures I saw, some were hilarious, some were really funny. They use it to troll, some big men in Nigeria. Some people use it to troll people they didn't like. Some people even appeared to be miraculous. They performed miracles in their picture, in the sense that they went from dark skin, that is, to light skinned. And I was like, wow, impressive transformation. But of course, to each his own. But here's what I noticed in all the hilarity and whatnot that went on. There was impressive change. There was growth, manifestation, and transformation. Some went from, young to older, of course. But what I also saw was some went from looking a bit, how will I put this now? Looking, okay, you know what? Their latest pictures or their most recent pictures showed that they had improved. Could it be that they had made money? It's possible. A friend of mine usually says, you're not ugly, you're just poor. Because when you make money, oh my, the blossoming, the blooming, you're not just coming out and people say you're looking fresh, or you actually, I don't know, I think the money could smell follow you. I think that's the word to use. Anyway, transformation, growth, development. And I got to thinking, some people may not be able to post pictures, not because they don't have the smartphones to do it, but because they're not where they want to be yet. They've not landed that big job, or married, or had the child, or whatever it is they would love to showcase for the world to see. And we should be careful about social media. It can actually push you and cause you to become more deep. Become depressed. Yes, sometimes I avoid looking at people's pictures because it might unconsciously cause you to start comparing. Everybody compares. We compare ourselves on the regular. Some catch themselves and stop. Some spiral with the comparison, and it ends up, making them feel really bad. So maybe that's why some of you didn't join the challenge. I know I didn't. I just wasn't interested. I'm not a picture person. But some may not have joined because they are not at the position they hope to be in, or they've hoped to be in, or they've aspired, they've dreamt of being in. And it's taking too long to manifest so that they too can put up pictures and people can say, wow, that's nice, you look good. But in all of this, here's one thing that we haven't noticed: the passing of time. Not passing of time in the sense that you've been wasting your time, but that you are still here. You are still present. You are still marking attendance. You are still what? Surviving. You are still what? Keeping on. These are words I use regularly. You are still what? Striving. You are still what? Making a mark. You are still swinging. If it was I think it's whiskey, a bit scotch, it will say keep walking. You are still walking. Take a look at your life. While thinking up this 10-year thing, I hung out with a couple of friends, and the guy sent his son to bring a glass for me to drink. Now the thing is, when he brought the glass, it wasn't well rinsed or washed, and so he said, look at you, as big as you are, 10 years old this year, and you can't wash a glass properly. And I was still in that process of mulling over this 10-year challenge thing, and I looked at the young man. Let me tell you why it made such an impression. This, my friend, they struggle fires in the guy. They hustle. Yes, sometimes he's able to make his children's school fees. Sometimes he's a little bit late. They end up staying at home, but at the end of the day, he still manages to pay. He cut his coat according to his size. Since they couldn't attend, they were attending a private school, but it was way too expensive. So he ended up putting them in a government school, and they are still thriving. They are still, they can speak good English. The ones they make mistakes, you correct them. That's why we are there as parents. But the guy, they struggle. It's not easy for him, but he's trying. And so I looked at his son, 10 years old. This man and his wife, because kudos must go to the wife as well. And to all of you who are in that position, they have been keeping on for the past 10 years. And the manifestation of it is that their son I was looking at, he is like a representation of their victory and victories that are to come. 10 years they've managed to keep that boy alive. 10 years he's been going to school. 10 years he's been feeding. 10 years they've been clothing him. 10 years they've been representing. Let's move away from having children. Maybe in your marriage, look back. You and your husband might not be where you guys want to be, but 10 years, it's a record. It's something to be proud of. Social media doesn't need to give you a pat on the back for you to realize that, wow, you have done something great. You are, and I use that word intentionally, it's deep. You are, which is you exist. You are here. You are doing. So you are. Maybe you've been in a business. Because when I did this live audio on Facebook, there was a lady close to me who was listening to me as I was talking. Because I kept trying to, when you get this spur of the moment kind of inspiration, sometimes you make mistakes. So I kept cleaning it up till it got to what I was comfortable with. And I didn't know this lady was listening to me as I was recording myself. And she said, wow, you have just reminded me of something. And I was like, sorry, ma, what did you say? Because then I realized I had an audience. I didn't know. She said, my sister, do you know that you made me realize that I have been in business for 10 years? I was looking at her. She said, if I tell you how I have managed, I owe people, somehow I managed to pay. They owe me, somehow they managed to pay. And in all the brugra and whatnot, I managed to pay rent for my shop. I managed to pay rent for my house. I managed to do this and I managed to do that. And you have made me realize that I've been doing this thing for 10 years. And so I asked her, how does it make you feel? She said, it makes me feel proud. I used to be so discouraged, feel bad, but it makes me feel proud. I have managed to keep this thing going for 10 years. I smiled at her. Well, maybe that was why God decided do this 5-10 minutes diary session thing. Maybe because it wasn't so much my putting it on social media, it was for that one lady to hear. And now you're hearing it as well. Think about it. I may not be able to touch on everything that everyone is going through, but cast your mind back 10 years ago and now. How far are you? Not have you achieved this or have you achieved that, but look at where you have come through. And so, I need to celebrate all of you who have managed to keep it going since. So here's this one by Whitney Houston. It's for all of you who have excelled, or maybe you're still coming to that excelling point. your mountain peak or your mountain top, if you were looking down on yourself that you don't have the picture to show, well, you may not have a physical picture, but I hope I have painted you a mental picture of your success, a mental picture of your greatness, a mental picture of your strength, a mental picture of the power within you. I celebrate all of you. It's been a wonderful 10 years, and I pray by the grace of God that you would have 10 more years of bliss, of manifestation, of transformation, of greatness, of glory. This one is for you. I celebrate all of you. And that was Celebrate by Whitney Houston featuring Jordan Sparks. I celebrate all of you. And it doesn't matter if, 10 years from now, by the grace of God, you'll be where you're supposed to be. So just chill, relax. Don't put yourself under too much pressure. But then again, don't forget the goal. Don't forget the dream, the vision. Keep going after it. But go after it in a relaxed state. It's like, how will I put it? God's got you. You know how the whites will say, I got you, I got you. God's got you. Recently, I was reading something. Can't remember if it's in the book of Ezekiel or Isaiah, but it was in the Old Testament. And I might get it wrong. Yes. Sadly, Bible isn't my strong point per se. But it went something like this. God was saying to someone, do not worry, I will take you by the hand and I will deliver you, something like that. Or I'll take you by your right hand or something and I'll deliver you. And I thought about it. Imagine God just, holding your hand like a father would hold the hand of a small boy or a small daughter, and they'll be walking together. In that moment, you're protected. Nothing can make you fear. Your dad is with you. A father is a representation of strength and power. So when God says, I got you, no need for you to worry. And he literally does tell you, do not worry about what you eat or drink or what you will wear, for he knows that you need these things. So while you're working, you should remember that. You serve the God of impossible things. But of course, God is not going to break rules or break laws to get you where you're supposed to be. You have to do something, and that's do the work. It's like the parable of the talents, like I always say. He gave out the talents, go, use it, and then of course come back. Whatever you as you work, so it will multiply. And I think that multiplication is God, is the God's got you bit. But you have to work it first without worrying. And so 10 years from now, in a relaxed state, keeping your mind on God and yet doing what you have to do, you'll get there. You will go places. So that's that for the 10-year challenge thing. I don't know how I'm going to put this now. I'm not going to compare Africa, then of course Nigeria, with other parts of the world. But then again, I am. Many times you come across things on social media where you read about foreigners who do good, like the lady who came and helped the little boy who was thrown away because they said he was a wizard. Sometimes you come across, there was one I saw yesterday about a dog that had been thrown away, not a Nigerian dog. This happened in somewhere in America, I think Iowa, one of them places. The dog had been thrown away and it had lain by the side of the road for 2 days. Its companion, a fellow dog, had already been killed by a car. And so it was lying beside the, corpse or carcass of, its friend. And for 2 days it had been there. And of course people were driving past and, they must have noticed the dog. Now this family noticed this dog and then they stopped with their truck and tried to, coax the dog into the truck. But the dog was super terrified. You could see the dog literally shaking, its tail tucked between its leg and everything. And it was a big dog, like a Saint Bernard, very big dog. For those of you who don't know, a Saint Bernard is way bigger than a German Shepherd, way bigger, and hairier too. Well, depends if you don't groom it very well. So they tried and finally got this dog onto the truck. And they took it home. They eventually would name him Tucker, and they were grooming him, cutting off the excess hair, gave him a bath and all that. And, little by little, the dog started warming up to this new family. And I was like, wow, love, kindness. And I thought about Africa, Nigeria, and how quick we are to show love, not just to animals, but to ourselves, to people. I kept thinking about it while asking God, okay, God, it was yesterday, what is tomorrow's topic going to be about? Please tell me. And everything pointed towards helping, doing, loving. I said, okay, let's see how we'll swing this. So now imagine you're going to church. You're on your way to church to worship and praise the Lord and maybe cry in his presence and all that. And you see, okay, let's start with an accident. How many of you will say, hey, somebody should help this man now, and you drive past, you're on your way to church? Or you're on your way to church and somebody calls you and says, I'm having an issue. I'm trying to reach my family and I don't know if something has happened to them. Please, can you just help carry me? Let me make sure that nothing is wrong with my family. How many of you will say, okay, and how many of you will say, this is a bad time, or I'm on my way to church? I guess you see where I'm going with this. Many of us do not realize that sometimes it's not the church that's important. It's the body of Christ that is most important. But how many of us will stop to help? How many of us will be conscious or aware that that is my church for today? This person who's passing through this situation. Imagine, some say we are born again. Many people are quick to say they are born again. Me, I don't really use that phrase, not just because I'm Catholic, but because I know that I drop the ball every time. There's no occasionally about it. In fact, you'll be so surprised that I'll go outside, somebody's going to do something, maybe something random, and I'll just say under my breath, idiot, before I realize that, whoa, just call that person an idiot. So I dropped the ball. So I am in this thing with you. So as I was saying, some of us will say we're born again, and some of us born agains own hospitals. Some of us born agains are nurses and doctors, and they will bring in an accident victim or a woman with pregnancy complications or a gunshot victim, something, and the first word out of the mouth is way money. Now if you compare that with what the Americans or the British do, well, the British have free healthcare. I envy them for that. The Americans don't have free healthcare, but the British have. I think it's the NHS they call it. Somebody comes in, the first priority is save this person's life. Even if you have to maybe contact the police later, they'll come and handcuff you to the bed or something. But first of all, it's life. And a lot of these Americans and British don't even believe in God, but they value life. But how many of us born again who say we follow after Christ, and Christ was the embodiment? No, not was is. I use was is because he died. So if we are being literal, he was. And then of course, if we're being spiritual, he still is the embodiment of love. And what does love say? Love is supposed to save that life, and then we worry about the money later. Or maybe it's because of the country. We've been so programmed by the hardship of the country that money first, life later, or any other thing later. But do you know there are some things that money can never, ever solve, no matter how you amass it. Oh, don't get me wrong, money makes the world go round. It solves a number of things, but sometimes there are moments when money cannot, no matter how much you have of it. So I guess my question today is, why aren't we helping people? Why don't we like to help? Oh, there are people that love to help. I know that. But it's like, maybe it's like the thing Christ says, the harvest is plenty, but the harvesters are few. And sometimes help is not just about money. It might be an idea you have in your head. Tell this person. Or it can be a word of advice. Help can appear in so many ways. I regularly say it, man is God to man. You driving past that accident, or driving past that lady that's being slapped around, or the young man being slapped around, or whatever, you say, hey, somebody do something now. Somebody is you. Hey, God should help this man now. God sent you to pass there. But as you passed there, what did you do? You now said, oh, che, this, that, and you waka pass. Why don't we like to help people? Maybe it's because a lot of us like validation, or we like appreciation more than the joy of knowing that we have done good. I'm wondering, the lepers, when the 9, ungratefully left and only one came back grateful, do you think Christ would have said, where are the others? Why didn't they come to say thank you? And then he gave them back their disease? I doubt it. Because then it will go against everything Christ is. So maybe he just did the good and okay, well, they didn't come to say thank you. It's all right. And, he keeps on moving. But maybe a lot of us like validation. We like appreciation. We like to be wanted. And so we wait, knowing that that person is in need of what we have. We wait for the person to ask. Of course, sometimes, yes, you should ask. But if you know deep down in your heart that this person needs this help and may not have the ability to ask, some people might be painfully shy or deeply embarrassed Have you ever been in situations or come across situations where a guy will be sitting down, he's hungry as all heck, but he's dying there. Then somebody now says, oh boy, you not go chop, come chop now. He go say, hey, you don't know what you just do for me right now. Thank you. Sometimes we know that this person would like to eat this thing, or this person is in need of this, but we just keep quiet and wait for the person to ask us. And yet, you might have been placed in that position by God to help that person, whether the person asks or not. So why don't we like to help people? Now let's move away from help. Why do we like to be wicked to those who help us? I'm not generalizing. I'm just, it's the thoughts that's coming into my head. A number of us are really evil to people who have helped us. I guess that's where the phrase, when you train another person's child, you train your enemy came from. I don't know. Somebody will do something good for you. You will appreciate that. But you will end up being an arrowhead to the person's downfall for reasons best known to you. It's possible you've always hated the person. And then when you see somebody whose obvious hatred for that person is apparent, you make friends with that person, you push that person, you instigate that person to make sure that they harm that person while you are free and clear. But this person has been good to you. Or maybe because you just want to be in that person's position. Meanwhile, you do not understand what it took or what it takes to get to that position or be in that position. But you want that position. Whether the position is for you or not, you just want it. So you do anything to have it, to get it. And eventually you get it. You see, karma or God's judgment can be very funny. You get it, you can't show working. You get it, you can't deliver. So this person loses, you too possibly end up losing that position. And for what? Somebody helps you get a job or whatever. Then you go around bad-mouthing the person. Why do we like to pay good with evil? Maybe that's why Africa or Nigeria is the way she is now. Is it a we thing? Is it that is how we as a people are? Or could it be a choice thing? If we had good leadership or good governance, if life was great, maybe we wouldn't be as wicked as we are. Is it possible? So is that the only way that we can be human and humane if life improves or quality of life improves in this country? Yesterday, just at the back of my house, these days, I don't know if bad boys have moved into the area, but a lot of gunshots and stuff seems to be, becoming a thing in my area now. I first thought it was fireworks, but the frequency of the sound, the banging, I now knew, they're shooting. First of all, I made sure everywhere in the house was locked and everyone was indoors. And well, you can only hope for the best, that they do not gain access into your compound, maybe by jumping the fence or something. But I also got to thinking, who have they felled now? As in, who's been killed or who has been robbed or something? Why are we so quick? Why is it that this is a trend for us? And yet on Sundays, both the good, the bad, and the ugly will go to church and we will worship, we will magnify the name of the Lord. It's a convicting program today. Myself, I'm included in this bag because I know I do my own stuff. It's something to think about. We as human beings, it's something for us to think about. Why we are like this, why we do this, the things we do. So maybe when next we go to church and we're singing and dancing, maybe we'll just remember that, this is the kind of person I am, or maybe we'll change. Or maybe it won't even matter. We'll continue. Because hurt people. We were broken, so we should break people as well. Why wonder? Do hurt people or do broken people not know the difference between good and bad, right and wrong? They possibly do. So does it boil down to choice? Yeah, we're getting philosophically spiritual today. Does it boil down to choice? Or as a friend asked me, or said to me, there's something inherently wrong with the black man. While we're here, we behave like, I don't know if you've noticed crabs in a bucket. If one wants to climb out, somehow the others claw him back in. If you just try to find your way out, claw you back in. Let us die here. But once they are able to find their way outside, America or Spain or wherever, the transformation, the difference is glaring. They go there and they become better. Well, some go there and they become more criminal than before. It's a choice. But a lot of us go out there and become better. So what is it? Or is it possible that when they say Satan was thrown down to earth, it was in Africa or Nigeria that he fell, he and his fallen angels? I'm trying to understand it. Or is it just, human nature to be hypocritical? Or is it a choice? Yeah, we're putting on our thinking caps today. Why don't we like helping each other? somebody walks into your office with a proposal or with an idea, and you say, oh, it's a really good idea, it's nice, it's great, it's a good one, and then you take it and tell the person, I will get back to you, I'll get back to you. And then you pass it along as your idea, and you make the gains or the profit of whatever that idea is. I mean, I know a number of people. A friend of mine was showing me a concept that he had traipsed around Nigeria trying to sell, and it got to great heights and power. Do you know what they did? In fact, the name of the person he called, I was like, really? That person did that? They stole a bit of the idea and used it to run something. And this guy was devastated. This should have been the thing that would have launched him. So are you telling me that when you have an idea or a proposal, just keep it in your belly? Don't tell anybody until you alone can find a way to birth that thing? Because a great majority of us like to reap where we didn't sow. Why do we not like to help people? Why do we not want to give somebody a leg up or a hand, a helping hand? Why? You work in an establishment and you know a friend who would fit right in, but because you're slightly intimidated of the person, or very intimidated, I don't know, that person comes to meet you and says, please help me, I am in dire need, help me. I say, well, I can't promise you anything, we're not really this and we're not really that, but well, I'll put in a good word and see what comes out. But you will never, because you see that person as competition. Here's a plot twist. What if that person down the road, because I believe that life is planned, preordained somehow. What if that person down the road is supposed to be some form of help to you, and you didn't open the door for that person to come in, and you shoot yourself in the leg? Although you would know it, or maybe you would know it later on, but well, for the now, shoot yourself in the leg. We are excellent at discouraging people. Why? What's wrong with encouraging people? What's wrong with telling the person, okay, try it? Bad as bad, you will at least know if it's something that will work or not. But a lot of us will say, try it, and then we'll go in front and sabotage that thing, especially if we have the means to. Why? The sky is big enough for everyone to thrive. Let me tell you this story I heard some days ago that really irked me no end. This young father, his wife died, but he's been managing to take care of his kids, 2 boys. Now, he put them in a school, a fairly affordable school, because, even private schools have grade by grade. So he put them in, somewhere, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, he put them at a school where, let's say 6, not so bad, just above average. Then they try. The kids they wow me when I come. Sometimes they will go, Auntie Dan, bonjour. I'm like, okay, bonjour. Comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci et vous? Merci bien. I'm like, okay, we're speaking French. Nice. Now he works in a company where he makes commissions. And so one day, his commission, the pattern is there were delays in payment. Something that wasn't happening before was not happening. Delays in payment. And he needed help badly. He needed that money because he had worked for it, so pay him his commission. Every other person had been paid except him. And he would reach out to the manager, please, you people should push this thing. I'm trying to pay my children's school fees and feed them and this, that. He had to come out and tell the manager, one of the agents that is the manager for the free agents. And would you believe, this manager said, okay, what if I loan you some money and then you pay me back when your commission comes through? And he said, okay, and waited for 4 days, no transfer. So he now started calling this person, calling. The person refused to pick. You made an offer, and you are now treating, me technically, as if I am begging you for money. So here's what he did. He took a couple of things from his house and he went and he sold them and made money. So he now sent a text to the manager, don't bother, I've been able to get money, stuff. Now on the Monday morning meetings they usually have, everybody's in there, they're putting the figures for the day and all that. This manager gets up and says, yes, I would like to speak to you guys about productivity and all that. You see, a lot of you live above your means. You put your children in schools you cannot afford. Basically just use the guy to do njakri without actually naming names. And then you'll be running around looking for who to lend you stuff and all that. I said, did that actually happen? He said, yes. This person used me to do, what's that thing called now? What's the word? What's that word? Well, okay, let's go with njakri. Put me up there on a billboard without calling my name, of course. And I find myself thinking, to what end? Why are we this way? What do we gain from it? What do I gain from it? And then we'll go to church. We'll make large donations, offerings, sing loud songs, praise the name of God. But it's not all doom and gloom, as I like to say. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. My dad once said to me about a portion in the Bible where it says, be perfect as your Father in heaven is also perfect. I wish the truth about the Bible would come out. Sometimes I think the Bible was written with a bias, or how will I put it? Let me put it in a better way. God is pure. God is all-knowing. There's no taint in him. He is perfect. And then he passed his word down to all of us, imperfect beings. So there's bound to be, I don't know, I wouldn't quite call it a watering down, but maybe some tweaks. I'm not really sure. While I am 100% sure about the words God spoke verbatim, the one they said, and the Lord said. Sometimes I look around and I'm like, are you sure politics didn't play a huge role in the writing of the Bible? And so I don't know the full truth. But hey, we're on a journey, aren't we? We are on a journey. New things are popping up, new ideas. God is possibly manifesting himself in such a way that we realize that he is more than we even think we know. Like, for example, a person has practiced being a good person, loving and kind and this and that. Do you think that a person who has lived a righteous life, for the most part, righteous life, would go to hell? I think about these things. Oh, we all know a bad person, yes, definitely. There is a place of judgment for them. But a person who has lived right, worshipped, I won't say worship, okay, loved humanity, giving of themselves to humanity. Do you think? I don't know. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. My dad says, no human being, no one can ever be perfect, but we can try. And maybe it's in that trying that you become perfect. In the trying to love, in the trying to be honest, in the trying to be good, in the falling and standing up and trying again. Maybe that's where perfection in a sense comes from. Because as you keep trying, you find that you stop doing, more bad things, and then you'll be doing more good as you try. So that's the silver lining. That's where maybe hope it lies, that we can try to be good, to be nice, to be civil, to be kind, to be loving. We can try. Anyway, I think I'm about to open the phone lines. But first, let's see. I think I have to go on a short break. Just a very short break, a minute or two. And then when we come back, I'll open the phone lines. I'd like to hear you today. We're being philosophically spiritual. Why don't we like to help people? Why do we like to do evil to people that do us good? And many times we know that this person is doing us good. We know this person means us well. But for some reason, maybe we should blame the devil. Maybe it's Satan. He comes and whispers something into our ear, and then we pay attention. And as we pay attention, we begin to build the thoughts. And as we build the thoughts, we end up doing the evil to this good person who didn't do you a single thing except wish you well or want the best for you. Imagine someone who doesn't have an envious bone in their body, but rather uses you as fuel to push themselves to that goal of vision. Imagine somebody who would look at you and say, hey, I would like to be like this person, and then works hard to achieve what you've achieved. Maybe they achieve even more because of how they push themselves. And then you turn around and you hate, not knowing that you were an unconscious source of inspiration. You turn around, you hate. How dare you try to rub shoulders with me? How dare you this? How dare you that? And then you decide to destroy. And that's how good people get eaten up. That's how good people decide not to bother. In fact, when we come back, I have a it's a sad story about a young girl. But let's take the break. The program will continue in a moment.
Garden City Radio 89.9 FM.
Welcome back. That was Avalon, Testify to Love. It's 11 a.m. It's still the dawn on Sundays with dawn. And we've been talking about quite a bit, and hopefully it's been hitting home for you, for myself, because I don't know this world. Anyway, the phone lines are open. I did say I was going to tell you a story, but the phone lines are open. You can call in on 081-885-88155. That's 081-885-88155 and 080-928-95620. That's 080-928-95620. You can also send a text message to 090-8668-1703. That's for text messages only. 090-8668-1703. And today it's a mixed bag of issues. But central theme is why we are the way we are, why we do not like to help people, and why some of us, after we've been helped, we turn around and literally bite the finger that fed us. And in doing this biting, some of us, we don't really care. We don't feel ashamed. We don't feel regret. We don't feel anything when we're doing it. In fact, you'd be surprised at the justification of some of these things. Now, let me tell you the story. There's this lady. She got married at the age of 28. And for the most part, everything was rosy. All was going fine and well until it didn't. There was domestic abuse, fetish behavior. There were so many things. To the point where she decided, okay, she would have to just take a breather from the marriage, just separate a bit to clear her head because so many things were going wrong and she was beginning to exhibit self-destructive behavior. Now, here's what happened. His family members, his brother, for reasons best known to him, decided he would go and attack this lady for daring to leave their senior brother. Physically attacked her. And so she decided to run for her life, seeing as marriage is now do or die. But what she didn't realize is that episode or scenario or occurrence put her in such a state of fear that at the moment she cannot date. And here's why. She is deathly afraid of men. It doesn't matter if you have good intentions. She just doesn't want to be around any man because she fears what might happen if somebody could physically attack her, minus the one that she had endured in the hand of her husband. Then maybe marriage wasn't for her. Now, I don't think marriage isn't for her, but you see, her mind has been warped. Fear, and that's one lost. She would no longer go near holy matrimony. Lord knows how she's going to have children. Maybe she might decide to, get pregnant on her own and have her own child and, damn the consequences. Or maybe adopt. But for her, her own biological fruit may never come to be. She may never get to know the love of a man, a good man, or what it is to have a family of her own, all because somebody decided to do funny things. And these are the consequences of our actions. And the young man who did this thing felt really justified in what he was doing. You see, why will you leave our brother? It doesn't happen. You must go back. You're the cow, the llama that we bought. And that was the justification, that they had spent money on her head. They paid for her. And that's the justification for breaking another human being. Does this guy go to church? Regularly. In fact, he's born again. Why we are the way we are. Why we choose not to help people. And why we choose to do evil to those who do us good, I will never know. Let me tell you another story. This young man marries this young woman. They are so in love. Somewhere along the line, I don't know if the woman was the issue or maybe there were other women. Oh yes, there were other women. So maybe it's the other women that turned the man's head. Lord alone knows, but it would end up leading to the end of his marriage and he would end up moving in with one of his mistresses. This lady bore him 2 sons and a daughter. Very rich man, millionaire, back in the day anyway. Now this mistress he moved in with, who first came in as family friend, cousin, all of a sudden, cousin started giving birth to children. And everybody kept kind of like, okay, now we know the truth. It's not cousin, it's just what they're choosing to call it. She would bear 7 children, male and female, all the while siphoning the wealth of this man and giving it to her brother to store for her. She made sure that the man's first son never came near the home. The thing is, this man loved his first son to no end, loved his first son. And as they say, you can never keep a child from the parents or from the father. So they connected. But by this time, the millions were lost. And the one that the mistress had given to her brother also lost because the brother died. And the wife said, you see, this money is my own. So everybody lost. But I like to think that the first son was the biggest loser. You know why? Eventually, the man would die. And the mistress refused to hand over anything belonging to the man to the son. And she has sat on top of everything for so long. In fact, she took this first son to court. That's how we justify bad thing. You reap where you did not sow. You collect what is not yours. Meanwhile, the first wife is still alive. You have colored everything. So even if law wants to say, okay, it must go to the recognized wife, even the first wife was shafted. And these people go to church and they call God. I don't know. Life is strange. Anyway, like I said, you can call in. It's a bit of a philosophical, spiritual discourse today. Why we are the way we are. And yet, if you tell somebody or if you ask somebody, are you the hand of God? They'll say yes. Are you the feet of God? Yes. Are you the eyes of God? Yes. Are you the mouth of God? Yes. Are you the ear of God? Yes. So it's a person with understanding anyway. Because you see, when you reach out to help people, you are God in that instant. When you see the pain of another person, you see the troubles of another person, and then you act accordingly, you have become the eyes and, of course, the action behind God. When you see somebody dying or literally breaking or losing their minds or having a mental breakdown or whatever, and you choose to sit down and listen to that person, you have become the ear of God. God may not be able, well, I'll use that word loosely, because he can if he so chooses. But he has you. He has you to be the helping hand. He has you to be the voice for those who do not have voices. He has you to bring justice for those who need and seek justice. He has me. He has all of us. And yet a lot of us will see somebody in dire need and will walk by. Like I said before, it may not even be money. Sometimes it's a kind word that person needs. A kind word. And you have it in you to be kind. But will you? Okay, so it's 11:11. You can call in 081-885-88155. That's 081-885-88155 and 080-928-95620. That's 080-928-95620. You can send a text message, yes, if you will, 090-8668-1703. That's 090-8668-1703. Now, I cannot end the program without saying this. Okay, I'll say it after this call. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Are you kidding me? Oh, phone gods. Really, today is not the day. Today really isn't the day. Anyway, I'll give out the numbers one more time. If is no work, wars will. 081-885-88155. That's 081-885-88155. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Philip. I'm calling from Umuda.
Your name is what?
Philip.
Philip. All right, Philip. Go ahead, Philip. Hello, Philip. Are you there? All right. Hello? Okay. Hopefully there isn't something wrong with the phone lines, because that will not be funny. Anyway, if you try 081-885-88155 and you can't get through, try... Okay, let's see. Hello? Are you seriously kidding me? Is this happening? Looks like it is. Okay, sounds like we're about to have another call. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so if you cannot get through on that one, you can get through on 080-928-95620. Let's try this and see. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Wow. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Okay, you know what? I'll take a short break. Let's take a look at the phone lines. This is not funny. Just give me 2 minutes, because I really have something to... Okay, there's another one call. Let's see. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I heard you guys just come from that state.
All right, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good.
Hello? Wow. And the calls are... They don't backlog of calls. Okay, let's try this one. Hello? Hello? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Okay. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sam. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Sam from Port Harcourt. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I really appreciate your program, what you were discussing about this morning.
Okay.
That why are people not really willing to help, and why are people doing people who help them bad? I think that's exactly what you were saying.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. In fact, you said much about it, and there is really nothing I want to say other than just to appreciate you that topic is really cogent and it's really timely. Yeah. Thank you so much for the initiation of that topic, and I wish you hold on to it. Tell people, let people understand that it's good to do good to people. Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so apparently one phone line is working. Okay. Hello.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sonny, calling for a little one.
Sonny from Elele. Okay, go ahead.
Right. I really love your program. We need people like you to encourage us more. Doing good is good. And we know there are people that when you do good for, they will turn it to pay you back. They will pay you back with pride. They will not stop. Because Christ was what Christ was doing when he was here on earth. He was going and moving around doing good. Even at that, people keep doing him bad. People keep serving. I think we need to keep on doing good because it will teach you so. And once you do good will come your way. Any person that wants to use that idea on what people are doing to others to stop doing good, that person is doing for himself. And you know the devil use another diverse means stop good things to happen, to continue happening. Hello?
Well, I'm listening to you. You have the floor. I will not interrupt you.
Okay. So how like all the listeners that are hearing us to keep doing good does good. To Christianity. That's our contribution for that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed that. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So yes, you can keep the calls coming in. 081-885-88155. That's 081-885. Okay, we have a call already. Hello? Really? We're doing that today? Okay. 080-928-95620. Hello? Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, I've been known to laugh when stuff like this happens. It's not inappropriate, but... Oh, man, really? I don't know if it's the phone lines. I don't know if it's the winches. Maybe I have offended some spirits. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Indy. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Indy. All right, go ahead.
I love the program. Your program touched me so much. It made me remember the days that I served somebody for good 12 years. At the end, when to give me my salary, they say when I want to go. After that, I left. They did not give me any salary. So when I called them, I said, my father is very sick. Please, can you pay me my salary? They now asked me, what kind of question is that? Your program makes me remember my past. Keep it up.
Thank you, Indy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a beautiful Sunday. Oh, and you can hear the pain. I think she's not quite over that one. But Indy, don't worry. You see the good you did in the past? In front. Just in front. It will manifest for you. You'll see it. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Jennifer Corey. I'm calling from my tree.
Jennifer. All right. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I love the program very much, so much.
Thank you.
Like me, I can't say to do good is not good. To do good is good, really. It's good. Because once you do good, you might see good one in one way or the other. Like in my area, I love giving people things I don't have, but the little I have, I love sharing with people.
So I don't know for others, but for me, I love doing good.
Jennifer, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you find that whenever you need something, somehow you always have it or find it or get it?
Yes.
So givers never lack.
At all.
I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, for calling in.
This is my first time for calling you.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the program then. Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Now, I may not be a firm believer in, okay, this might be a landmine type of thing, but let's take this call first and I'll tell you the landmine I'm about to step on. Hello.
Good morning to you, my lady.
Good morning, the real gift.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the call has come in. I would have loved to get the landmine so that if I have something to diffuse it.
Okay, I can. If you can stay on the line, I can tell you what the landmine is.
For starters, I agree with Jennifer. She said it's good to be good or it's good to do good. But do I also believe that phrase, which I also believe that givers never lack? Personally, I don't believe it completely anyway.
Okay.
This is my personal opinion. Now, it is possible, just like you asked Jennifer, if she experienced a situation where most times she gets things she needs. I would say yes. It also happens to me that way. Sometimes they get it, sometimes the way it is hard or it is tough. But be good, do good. For me, it's a personal decision. You asked a question earlier, if it is a black thing or an African or Nigerian thing on our attitude. I don't want to agree that it's a Nigerian or African thing. It's a personal thing. I think it's personal. I always tell people the ability to do good is one's, or be bad is one's personal decision. It depends on which side of the divide, like they say in my community. The two hands God are given to you, you decide which one you use in raising your head. So you decide whether you want to do good or not. But I think one of the challenges we have is a situation where you find out that in course of doing good, sometimes what you get is not worth the trouble at the end of the day. I have some personal experiences when it comes to issues like this, because for people like us, we like doing good.
Okay.
Because the truth is, I also believe that man is God to man here on earth.
Okay.
And so there are times you just have to give, because I think it's the right or the best thing to do at that point in time. But there have come across situations where, like you ask the question, how come those who you do good to turn around to do you evil back, pay you back in evil? Well, that question I cannot answer. That's why I said it's a personal decision, because if somebody does good to you and you turn around to pay that person back with evil, the truth is you are the only person that can explain why you took a decision like that. And I don't want to believe that a devil or a Satan.
Okay.
Like I tell people, if you put a blame on the devil, you have to bring the devil before me. Let him tell me himself that indeed he is the one that asked you to do something like that.
Okay.
Then I'll allow you.
All right.
Yes, But coming back to this other issue, I believe that because of some experiences some persons have gotten, that's why they decided to turn the other way. I've seen situations where somebody went on a rescue mission, rescued somebody. Definitely you have to make a report, and the person stayed behind bars or was detained, let me put it that way, for more than 2 weeks.
Okay.
This is a person that wanted to help. He has that humanitarian intention. He saw somebody who was in a very bad situation. By the end of the day, the police had to detain him to explain how come he was the one that passed by at that point in time, and how come he was the only one that decided or agreed to rescue or save that person's life. So sometimes situations like that might make you decide not to. Sometimes it's also possible that something happened to a friend, and the friend shares with you, just like the stories you've told us earlier. And then somebody can decide to say, okay, if this one happened to this person, I have to learn, because I think experience is not the best teacher, but caution is the best teacher.
Okay.
So for me, because it happened to some other person, I might decide to use that person's own example to caution myself and decide to do things the other way. Because if this person did it and it didn't favor him, it's possible that it might not be the same thing to me, but because you don't want a situation where, and I know, like they say, it's the last resort. So you decide not to. That is on that. And as for that lady who was attacked by her former in-law, and she decided to cage herself up. For me, I think she's doing herself a whole disservice because that guy has moved on with his life. I mean, this her in-law having his way. So why decide to use an action like that to deprive yourself of what you are supposed to get?
Because fear is a powerful thing. It's a very powerful emotion.
And there is nothing you cannot overcome, as far as I'm concerned.
I
it's
like
all
that,
about putting your mindset to it. Fear is part of it. I believe that one of our biggest problems on earth is fear. But if, like they say in my community, if for fear of darkness, you pee where you are sleeping, you remain with the stench of that pee. And so, what do? You come out of that darkness, to go do what you want to do. And then you overcome that fear. Because the moment you have overcome that fear, automatically you have placed yourself in such a way that tomorrow if something similar or even worse off happens to you, I mean, you just dust yourself and you move on. Bottom line, you have to move on because the truth is, that lady is not helping herself. If she's listening to me right now, you've come out of that proven she has put herself because of some other person's action, and get a good feel of her life, believe me. And as I round off also, if you want to do good, you should do. Bottom line, you have to be cautious. I always tell people, forgive your enemies, but don't forget their names.
But really, so I want to ask you a question. Yeah. You talked about this police issue, and yes, I understand a lot of people fear to do that type of good because of the way the police might react. So that means that we have to wait until Nigeria gets better to be able to do that kind of good while people die. What do you think?
That's why I said if you want to do good, you should do. If you want to take that risk, you take it. The truth is, like myself, there was a time I was working in a company. Now, somewhere along the line, my wife had medical challenge. I had to be off duty for almost 6 weeks. In course of this period, one of my very good colleagues then, became a whatever to me, that when I had to go back to work, everything has been tweaked in such a way that I found myself to work where ordinarily I'm not supposed to work. Because this other person has used whatever he has done in between to occupy my space. Now, you tell me, if peradventure tomorrow opportunity like that comes, do you expect me to not to be cautious? You expect me to just throw my hands and say everything they got hand? Of course not. So I believe that just my personal experiences. And again, it's not just the police angle alone. Especially the human angle where you do good for somebody, it pays you back with evil. I don't want to start going into my own details because if I give you my dose there now concerning issues like that, maybe the program not going to end. Because the truth is, it will certainly come. But somebody told me some time ago or asked the question, because Jesus was killed, I mean our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was killed, did it stop good from happening? Of course it did not. So that means despite what happened to him, life continues and the good will continue.
Okay, Rudolph, I have one other question to ask you. What if you do good without expecting anything? Just do the good and just keep it moving, without waiting for validation or appreciation or whatever. Just keep moving. Then what?
Well, it is possible because myself also, I find myself also in situations like that. Most times I do what I do, not expecting a dividend at that point in time.
All right.
But don't forget also that behind every gift, there is a hidden price tag. This is my own philosophy anyway.
No good deed goes unpunished, eh?
So for me, you can do and then you believe that. I also believe that the good you do today will save you out of a situation tomorrow. Because the truth is, there are so many persons who can afford so many luxurious things in life today that are either no more or that are incapacitated one way or another. But you that cannot afford it, you are ill and hurting. So don't you think it's possible that the good, the little one you did yesterday, is the one that is working in your favor today? So for me, I believe that we cannot stop doing good, but you have to be cautious. So at the end of the day, what if the evil the person does to you is the one you will not be around to tell your story? That's why sometimes, or personally, I'm cautious. There are certain things I will not do, which I've been doing before. I don't want to say them on air. That I will not do. Even if the person is dying, I won't do it. Unfortunately, I have to say that because I know what I've seen in course of trying to do one of these good deeds some time ago. Bottom line, that has not stopped me. I see they do good, sure.
Yeah, but you calculate the good you do.
Sometimes they say an animal that is careful lives long in the bush.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I like that. Thank you. Oh, it's a day for philosophical and spiritual discourse. And if you are interested, you can join in the conversation. Why do we not like doing good? And why do we pay people who have done us good with evil? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Good morning. Okay. Yeah. So numbers to call 081 885 88155. That's 081 885 88155 and 080 928 956 20. That's 080-928-95620. You can send a text message to 090-8668-1703. Now, while, you should be cautious in doing certain types of good, I do believe that for the most part, always do good. That's my own opinion. No? Certain types of good that problem can come out from this one. Well, you know how you go about it. Call witnesses if you need to or whatever, I don't know. But the good that cannot cause trouble, do it without hesitation and possibly watch your life change. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Mr. Briggs, calling from Abonima.
Mr. Briggs. All right, go ahead.
Mr. Briggs.
Briggs, I heard you, yes.
Yes, I had their program. I was very interested in listening, and this is my first time.
Okay.
That's all the time I've been watching and I've been listening. So I want to contribute towards it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, that's about that, how Nigeria is so, I don't know whether corrupt and all the rest.
Okay.
This is getting worse. So as we are speaking, I just immediately catch up with an incident that just happened in Abonima yesterday in my community. A police officer that was just was just right in front of police station, boy just came and shot him down, collected his gun.
Wow.
So yesterday evening, I was very surprised. Hello?
I can hear you. I'm waiting for you.
Okay. So immediately as we are talking about this, how things is getting worse in Nigeria. So I was very, very affected and I don't know. I thank you for that program.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs.
Thank you.
Okay, have a beautiful Sunday.
Thank you too.
So, apparently, I guess the policeman's life was less in worth than the gun. I guess it's the gun they wanted. So they decided to get it, they must kill him. Well, why we do the things we do, the choices we make. It's a surprising thing, I don't know. Anyway, I said I was going to tell you something and possibly step on a landmine. We're talking about, what's that thing now? Givers never lack. And I know this thing has caused a lot of issues about tithing and not tithing. If you tithe, you get good things and this and that. I believe, if you want to tithe, fine. But I believe that all things belong to God, all things. And whenever you do good, when you give somebody something, when you bless a life, I think that thing goes to God. The glory of it, the honor of it, whatever. And what comes from that doing good is more blessings. You receive. You could receive protection. You could receive, any type of blessing. Or you could even receive double in kind of what you gave away. I'm not knocking tithing. And this is not a platform for discussing religious doctrine. I'm not knocking it. But I believe that everything belongs to God. And once you do good, that's an offering of sorts. A blessing follows the good you do. Be it a kind word. You'll be surprised that you who always gives motivation to people and whatnot, in your darkest days or at your low moments, you will find people coming to give you same succor that you give people. If you find yourself giving to the needy, in your time of need, you'll be so surprised that sometimes you only have to think, "Che, are they hungry?" And that thing is provided. But anyway, let's take this call and see. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Collins.
Collins. All right, go ahead, Collins.
Yes, I want to say something about what you said this morning.
Sure, go ahead.
The thing that you said this morning, I learned that it's not good to be greedy. It's good to give up.
Okay.
And I learned that anything you have, even though it's related to givers never lack, so you should give.
Okay. Collins, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add? Do you have anything else to add? Oh. And I lost that one. Yes, well, givers never lack. So, yeah, that was the landmine I was going to step on, because once you just use the T word, tithe, people literally lose their minds. But I believe that everything belongs to God. Everything. So if you decide that God, for love of you, and he sees, whether you're giving to a fake pastor or you're giving to a real pastor, whatever, God sees. And the intention behind the giving, I give this in the name of God. Maybe he'll say, oh, I note that down. So if you want to tithe, fine. If you want to give it away as offering, fine. But something always comes back. Something. Hello.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Gloria, calling from Port Harcourt.
Your name is what?
Gloria.
Gloria, I love that. All right, go ahead.
I really enjoyed your program. Interesting.
Thank you.
And I learned something from it. He said, God can bless you if you do good. And only God can bless you if you give him something to bless. If you don't give him something to bless, then there is nothing to bless you. So we need to keep on doing the good.
When you say give him something to bless, give him something like what?
Like doing good.
Okay, I get you now.
Doing good to others. We give him something to bless you for.
Okay, I get you. I get that point.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you, Gloria, for calling in. Okay, when she said give him something to bless, I was like, are we bribing God now? But okay, she explained it and I understood it. Okay, it's 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, before I tell you what I had to tell you, you might want to... Okay, I'm have a call. All right, let me take the call. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Alamo from Abonama.
Okay, Alamo, you're welcome to the program. Go ahead.
Yes. I want to speak on one of the points that says giving.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. Giving is very, very important to human beings. Whoever is giving normally never lack of things. And we believe that when you are giving, don't expect that whoever gives will give back to you.
Okay.
Your blessings will come from that you never expect. That is one thing I believe. So giving is very, very important. I pray that we should be forgiving by helping each other. Then another one that I want to talk about is that woman that thought herself auntie or whatsoever along the line, just pregnant and looking all the man's property to her brother's account. At the end of the day, the brother died and she too lose, which is very, very bad. The spirit of greedy, it makes the family to set back, even the firstborn will not become why God has created him, which is not good. Many people are having that spirit, but it's not good. I pray we should get out from that spirit. That's the second thing that I want to contribute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alabo, for calling in. Have a great Sunday. Okay, so yes, I said I had something to say. But first, if you'd like to connect with the show, some follow the show on social media. We have 2 Facebook pages running, Dawn on Sundays, and then, of course, the Dawn on Sundays like page. So either one, you would get to listen to the show as it aired here. You also get to listen to, sometimes I get 5-10 minutes, brain farts. Yeah, and I put them down for people to listen and possibly think on, maybe on your way to work or you're cleaning your house, just listen to 5-10 minute pick-me-ups or articles. So there's that. You can also connect to the show on Twitter at Dawn on Sundays. Dawn is spelled D-A-W-N. There we post links or inspirational quotes or pictures, stuff. You can also link up on Instagram. There it's Charmcaster. CHARMCASTAR. Now, if you'd like to talk to me one-on-one, because I believe that many times change comes from talking. 2 people shooting the breeze, next thing an idea is born or burst, and before you know it, or by the time you know it, the next great thing is created. Or maybe 2 heads being better than one, we solve a problem together. So you can call on 080-9805-1480. That's to talk about anything. 080-9805-1480. And then you get to connect to the show. Also, if you have your own stories to share so we can learn, because this life, it's a journey. We're all learning in the process. You can send in your stories to my email, dawnonsundays@gmail.com. That's dawnonsundays@gmail.com. Of course, Dawn is spelled DAWN, and you get to connect. You can sponsor the program. You can place as many adverts as you like. In fact, If you come and sponsor or you come and place your adverts, your advertising now goes international because we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So everybody around the world gets to hear of your brand. Isn't that an amazing thing? Yeah, a little incentive there for you to come and advertise. Anyway, yes, what I said I was going to say. So you may have been the one hurt. You did good and somebody paid you with an evil coin, or, stole from you, whatever it is that they did to you. Here's the thing. Your good deed will manifest in front. That's the same thing I was saying to, I think her name was Indy. Your good deed will manifest in front. Sow it as a seed, if you will, to God. Father, see this thing that happened to me. I give the glory to you. I hand it over to you. Father, may your name be praised for this work I did, this sweat that I wasn't paid for and all that. Father, may your name be glorified because of it. And watch yourself flourish in front. Now, do not harbor. It's difficult. It is difficult. I've been in this position. Try not to harbor any ill will or feelings of grudge towards the person who may have paid you in a coin of evil. It is difficult. Me when they talk, it is per second, I keep reminding myself I have forgiven. I keep reminding myself I have let it go. I'm like a dog with a bone. If I vex, the vex is sour for my belly, but praise be to the goodness of God in my life. It is difficult, but it is doable. It is doable. First, you make the choice, the daily choice, the constant choice to forgive and let it go. And after some time, you see, it will just wear off and you'd forget about the pain and all that. So try to let go of the hurt, try to let go of the grudge, and keep moving forward. Keep doing good wherever you can, expecting nothing. Or in this case, you know what? Keep doing good and expect something. Not from the person you did good for or did good to, but from the big G upstairs who's watching you and say, Che, my Pekin, I love you for this. And when you kneel down and beg God and say, Baba God, see this issue I'm going through, he will look and say, she did this or he did that. Take it. Or take something even better. You understand? So keep doing good, expecting nothing, and yet expecting something. And I'm hopeful. It is my prayer that all of you who do good constantly will receive much more than you imagine. The Bible says, what's that thing? Pressed down, shaking around and running over. I think that's the word. Bible also says God gives exceedingly and abundantly more than we can ever hope or imagine. Think about it like this. There was a day I was imagining, a grand life for myself. Oh, I would like to go to the Bahamas. I'd like to do this. I was just fantasizing. Yeah, I do that at times. I have an overactive imagination. Maybe I should make a movie or something. Be the next, not the next Genevieve, but, be Dawn in the movie world. Anyway, I was just imagining this fantastic life for myself. And a thought popped into me and said, you see this thing you're thinking about? What God will give you will be even more than this thing you are imagining. And it struck me. Do you know you cannot out-imagine God? And that's the same thing in the Bible. He will give exceedingly and abundantly more than you can ever hope or imagine. He said, ask of me and I will give you nations for your inheritance. So imagine where you do good, where you do his will. Of course, to borrow a leaf from the real gift, you do it cautiously, depending on the circumstances you find yourself in. Then you have a need for something. Do you not think that God will show up and show out because sin are you? Yeah, I like to think so. Anyway, I hope that, these few words of mine have been able to put something amazing in your heart, wonderful in your soul, and give you much needed pep in your step. Yes, I'm too playful. But this is where we'll draw the curtain on today's. I think I'm about to have a call. I don't know. You better call before I stop talking. If not, I'm about to pop off. Let me, give you the numbers one more time. One more call, if it's possible. 081-885-88155. That's 081-885-88155.